Pohitum Shinamatatabhatunam Joho Yosavitotita Karma Virgihametiya Naham Kalpavyapohitum Srinamatattabantunam Joho Yosavihotama Karma Virgihametiya Naham Kalpavyapohitum. Chant. Srinamadatabandhuna Koyo Savitotita Karma Vihyametiya Hankalpo Vyapohitum Madatavatuna Sayotita Grihamediya Hankalpo Vyapohitum. Ladies. Srinamadatabandhunam Savihotita Virgijimetiya Vahipahitum Srinamadatabandhuna Hoyo Savihotita Karma Virgihametiya Hankalpa Vyapohitum. Strinam of the women, Mat by me, Hatabandhunam the friends who are killed, Joha enmity, Ya that, Aso all those, Iha herewith, Uttita has accrued, Karmabhi by dint of work, Gihametiya by persons engaged in material welfare, Na never, Aham I, Kalpa can expect, Vyapohitum undoing the same. I have killed many friends of women, and I have thus caused enmity to such an extent that it is not possible to undo it by material welfare work. Purport. The Grihamedis are those whose only business is to perform welfare work for the sake of material prosperity. Such material prosperity is sometimes hampered by sinful activities, for the materialist is sure to commit sins, even unintentionally, in the course of discharging material duties. To get relief from such sinful reactions, the Vedas prescribe several kinds of sacrifices. It is said in the Vedas that by performing the Ashwamedha Yajna, horse sacrifice, one can get relief from even Brahmahatya, killing of a Brahmana. Yudhishthira Maharaj performed this Ashwamedha Yajna, but he thinks that even by performing such yajnas, it is not possible to get relief from the great sins he committed by killing the friends and relatives of innocent women. In war, either a woman's husband or brother or even father or sons go to fight. And when they are killed, a fresh enmity is created. Thus a chain of actions and reactions increases, which is not possible to be counteracted even by thousands of Ashwamedha yajnas. The way of work, karma, is like that. It creates one action and another reaction simultaneously, and thus increases the chain of material activities, binding the performer in material bondage. In Bhagavad Gita 9:27-28, the remedy is suggested that such actions and reactions of the path of work can be checked only when work is done on behalf of the Supreme Lord. The battle of Kurukshetra is actually fought by the will of the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, As it is evident from his version, and only by his will was Yudhisthira placed on the throne of Hastinapur. Therefore, factually no sin whatever touched the Pandavas, who were only the order carriers of the Lord. For others, who declare war out of personal interest, the whole responsibility lies on them. Mokam karati vachalam pangam langayate girim yakripantamam bande sigurun tinutavinam Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananja Shakaya Chakshuminitam Yena Tasmai Shirave Namaha. So Prabhupada selects a word from the Sanskrit, Grihameti. We have heard that word before, perhaps, in our Krishna consciousness. Means a miserly grihasta, not a grihasta, a miserly householder, or miserly people. They perform welfare work to get money, material prosperity. But unfortunately, their welfare work is mixed with sinful reactions because you cannot avoid it living in this world. Even if you're in the mode of goodness, you cannot avoid performing some sinful reactions. When you're cooking, you kill living entities. When you're walking on the street, when you're breathing. Even by breathing, you commit sin. So how can you be free? And so Maharaj Yudhisthira, he's rightfully saying, actually, that I cannot counteract this, the sins I've committed in this war simply by doing some material things. And Prabhupada says in the purport, yes, he's right. Bhagavad Gita says, you do your work for Krishna, and that way you can counteract your reactions. It's the only way. Only by devotional service can you be freed from sinful reactions. So I'm going to read the next verse as well. It's a very similar idea. He has explained the principle in text 51. You cannot counteract material actions by some other material actions. So here he gives an example in text 51, how it's not possible to counteract material action with another material action. Yata pankena pankam pasurayava surakitam bhutahatyam tataivaikam nayagyarmarstum arhati. As it is not possible to filter muddy water through mud, or purify a wine-stained pot with wine, it is not possible to counteract the killing of men by sacrificing animals. So that's his argument now. Just like beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was giving some arguments, but they're a little bit different. Here, Yudhisthira, he's giving these arguments, and Krishna is present, but even Krishna this time cannot pacify Maharaj Yudhisthira. They have to go to the devotee, Bhishmadev, the Mahajan, and they will be on their way in the next chapter. So purport, Ashwamedha yagyas or Goveda yagyas, sacrifices in which a horse or bull is sacrificed, were not, of course, for the purpose of killing the animals. And that's what we see in India, especially in Calcutta. They kill the goats so they can enjoy the flesh of the goats. But these sacrifices, the Gomeda and the Ashwamedha, were not meant for this purpose, to eat the horse and to eat the cow. It's for your sense gratification. It was for another purpose. Lord Chaitanya said that such animals sacrificed on the altar of Yajna were rejuvenated and a new life was given to them. It was just to prove the efficacy of the hymns of the Vedas. By recitation of the hymns of the Vedas in the proper way, certainly the performer gets relief from the reactions of sins, but in case of such sacrifices improperly done under inexpert management, surely one has to become responsible for animal sacrifice. So that's why in this age it is forbidden to do these animal sacrifices, or Kali Yuga. The Prabhupada says, in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, there is no possibility of performing the yagyas perfectly for one of expert brahmanas who are able to conduct such yagyas. That's why it's forbidden. Maharaj Yudhisthira therefore gives a hint to performing sacrifices in the age of Kali. So here's a little hint by Maharaj Yudhisthira. He's saying in the verse, cannot do these sacrifices. It's useless. And it's true. In the age of Kali, it's useless to do these sacrifices. In Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice recommended is the performance of Harinam Yajna, inaugurated by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But one should not indulge in animal killing and counteract it by performing the Harinam Yajna. So again, we should not kill animals. And they say, okay, I'll chant Hare Krishna and I'll get rid of the reaction to this sin. Don't put the two together. It's forbidden in this age of Kali to do animal sacrifice. Those who are devotees of the Lord never kill an animal for self-interest, and as the Lord ordered Arjuna, they do not refrain from performing the duty of a Kshatriya. So they kill, but they kill under the order of the Lord. The whole purpose, therefore, is served. When everything is done for the will of the Lord, this is possible only for devotees. So Krishna, he is about to leave for Dwarka. He was about to leave. And Kunti stopped him and offered her prayers, but he still proceeded. He was still leaving, but then Yudhisthira stopped him and lovingly begged him, please stay a few more days. Let's see what these verses here. 45. Accepting the prayers of Srimati Kunti Devi, the Lord subsequently informed other ladies of his departure by entering the palace of Hastinapur. But upon preparing to leave, he was stopped by King Yudhisthira, who implored him lovingly. So, premna, he had prema for Krishna, and that stopped Krishna. Yudhisthira was lamenting all the deaths at the battle of Kurukshetra, and nobody could pacify him, not even Krishna. So now we heard how this atonement, by doing some other material activity, counteract material sin. So Yudhisthira is rejecting this. He said this is not proper. Parikshit also said the same thing in Canto 6. After Shukadev was, first of all, he heard in the 5th canto about the hellish planets and how people were suffering. He said, how can we relieve the suffering of these people? So the first thing that Shukadev Goswami said was, okay, by atonement. But Parikshit also said, this is not a good idea because, again, the person who has committed sins, he will do more sins again. He'll do his atonement, he'll go back, just like an elephant takes a bath and then throws dirt on his body. Yeah, I saw on Facebook an elephant taking bath, but it was snowing, so he was throwing snow all over his body. There was no dirt. They were enjoying the snow in Portland, Oregon. So that's the habit of, and so that's the habit, just like that's the habit of the elephant. It's the habit of people. Parikshit was a king. He knew that he would punish the criminals, but again they would come back and commit the same sin. So atonement is not working. So then Shukadev suggested, well, what about knowledge? If you have knowledge, then you can free yourself. And that's a fact. You can free yourself by knowledge, but there's a limit. And so in the verse it's explained that these sins are like dry leaves of creepers beneath a bamboo tree, which may be burned by fire, although the roots remain to grow. So you may burn, like in India, they burn after they harvest the crops, then they harvest, there's some stubble left of grass, and they burn that. They burn the fields. And if you're in Vrindavan, you'll suffer from all the smoke. But but the roots are still there. So jnana cannot actually take out also the sinful reaction. You get some freedom, but not from the sinful desires. Only chanting Hare Krishna, only Harinam Yajna can free us. So in Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya has recommended Harinam Yajna, and this chanting dissolves all our karma. And even the desires that we have in our heart. We have so many desires. And this will also take out the karma. So these verses is explaining actually, underneath all of these things, there is the love of Yudhisthira for Krishna and Krishna's love for Yudhisthira. There is the love of the devotees and Krishna behind all this. Kunti was lovingly pleading Krishna to stay. Now Yudhisthira is lovingly begging Krishna to stay. So if Krishna loves everyone, so if you love Krishna, he'll give himself to you. Prabhupada also said, you love me, I'll love you. So it's reciprocal. But we need to take the first step. That is our responsibility. If you don't want to love Krishna, you don't have to. He's giving you freedom. He won't force you. But still, he'll never leave you if you love him. And so that is the challenge of our life, that we should love Krishna. He is with us. He's in our heart. He's giving us facility. Sarasya chaham hidi shanivishto. Prabhupada gives the example of a master taking his dog for a walk. And so, if you probably see this here in Sydney, people taking dogs for walks, probably in that park. In fact, I remember the first time I came to Sydney, it was Sydney? Yeah, it was Rath Yatra. And there was a sign in the park, school for dogs. And there is one Indian who was visiting from India, from the village. He said, in my village, we don't even have school for people. Here they have school for dogs. So I said, yeah, it's true. And so the dogs, even I saw, where was it, in Canada? PAW, P-A-W, for Perfect Spa, a spa for dogs and cats and everything. So they are taken care of here very nicely. So Prabhupada gives the example of a person taking his dog for a walk. The dog can do whatever he wants. He can pass urine, he can pass stool, and the master is waiting. So the real business of the dog is to obey the master. So similarly, Super Soul is here in our heart, and we're like the dog, and he's taking us for a walk. And we can do this, we can do that, we can run, we can walk, we can pass stool, we can pass urine. And he's just waiting for us to turn to him and obey him and surrender to him and go back to Godhead. So we need to make a relationship with Krishna. There are 6 loving exchanges in described Nectar of Instruction. In the early days in New York City, in a class, Prabhupada advised the devotees that you should make these 6 loving exchanges with Krishna also. That you give some food, you accept prasadam. You give a gift, you accept gifts. And you reveal your mind and you hear instructions from Krishna. But Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Just give me a little leaf of flower, fruit, and water, and I will accept. So this is our duty as devotees, to worship Krishna. Give him a little leaf of flower. Now the flowers are beautiful. New flowers. Since 1 year, the standard has really gone up. These flower garlands, beautiful garlands now. And so this is how we show our love for Krishna, that he's come here in the temple to accept our offerings. Sometimes some Indian people tell me that, why should we worship in the temple? God is everywhere. Like my son, sometimes when he was young, he was too lazy to offer to the deities, so he would just take the pot, put it on the table and say, okay, Krishna, please eat. I said, why don't you put it in front of the deities? The deities are there. He said, Krishna is everywhere, Mom. So he's eating over here too. But actually we show our love when we make a nice plate and put it in the bowls and offer it to him to eat like we eat. Then it's very personal. It's very personal. So Krishna wants us to develop this love for him. So he comes here in 2 forms. It's described in the 6th canto, 16 verse 51. There's 2 forms of the Lord that come here. Param Brahma and Param Dhamma. So Param Brahma is the deity. He comes as the deity. And Param Dhamma. Param Brahma, is this sound vibration. Shabda Brahma, sorry, not Param Brahma. Shabda Brahma and Param Dhamma. These two come, Krishna comes. Shabda Brahma and Param Brahma, these two. So everybody can take advantage of Krishna's appearance here as the holy name, as the deity. He comes, if we're attentive to the sound of Krishna, he will enter our heart and cleanse it. There is a verse in the second canto which says that persons who hear Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead Krishna manifested in their hearts within a short time. He's already there, but we can't see him. But if we hear attentively Bhagavatam, then he will come in our hearts, and we will see him on the lotus flower of our heart. And then also the next verse says, the sound incarnation of Krishna enters into the heart of the self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and cleanses the dust of material association like lust, anger, and hankering. And so this is the wonderful thing that we can expect to happen to us in our progress in devotional service, but we have to be alert. We have to always keep trying to hear the sound of Krishna, Shabda Brahma and Param Brahma. Param Brahma is the deity and Shabda Brahma is the sound vibration. So Krishna, he also bestows his love on us. He's impartial. He loves everyone in the world. He's giving them what they desire. As he says in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham sarvabhuteshu, I'm equal to all living entities. Name dvesho stinapriya, I'm not envious. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayete teshu chapiham. But if someone worships me in devotional service, he's a friend. So we have to make friendship with Krishna. We have to make friendship with Krishna. And if we make friendship with Krishna, we can get mercy. So what determines how much mercy we can get? Like the sun is shining everywhere, it's shining on the rocks, it's shining on the houses, shining on the people. But the capacity to receive the sun rays is different, may differ. There's a purport of Queen Kunti's prayers, which says that a pious man, if he's suffering, if he's pious, he'll pray to the Lord for his recovery. But as soon as he recovers, in most cases, he forgets about the Lord. He doesn't even say, thank you, Lord. And so we should be conscious. We shouldn't be like that. When something good happens in our life, we distribute a book, or something happens, we should say, thank you, Krishna, for helping me distribute that book. Thank you, Krishna, for giving me your darshan. Thank you, Krishna, for keeping me alive in this body so I can serve you and perfect my human form of life. We should be grateful. And so there is a verse in 3rd canto, 9th chapter, which says, my Lord, your devotees can see you through the ears. So the ears are not only for hearing, they're for seeing. You can see through your ears. You can see Krishna. And then by seeing through your ears, your heart becomes cleansed, and Krishna comes and sits. Again, same idea. So the Lord becomes subordinate to the desire of the devotee. If we hear properly, we can see Krishna, and he appears in the form in which we would like to see him. We always think of him, we worship him. Some people worship Gonitai. Some devotees worship Radha Krishna. Some worship Jagannath. So in however way we like to see him, he will come if we are attentively and receptively hearing, submissively hearing. So Bhagavad Gita says, Yayatamam prabhadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham. Krishna is not our order carrier, but if we develop our devotional service from the level of Shraddha to Prema, then in that process we'll see Krishna. And the process is, of course, chanting the holy name. By associating with devotees, then we engage in devotional service, we get initiated, then our doubts are cleared. That takes a long time, anartha nivritti. And then finally we come to ruchi, taste, and asakti. beginning of Bhagavatam, it says, Vasudeva Kataruchi. By serving the pure devotees, by hearing, then you can get ruchi, you can get taste for hearing and chanting. And so Krishna, here in this verse, he wants to fulfill the desire of Yudhisthira. Yudhisthira didn't want him to leave, so he's going to stay a few more days. And no one could make Lord Krishna stay. He was ready to go. But just a simple request of King Yudhisthira, Lord remained there for a few days more, was immediately effective. So the power of King Yudhisthira was prema, loving affection. That was his power. And Krishna can be conquered by love, only by loving service. He's independent, but he voluntarily becomes submissive to his devotees. Krishna could have refused. No, sorry, I can't stay. I'm God, you know. But no, premna. You can't order me. Yes, no, you can't order. You can order Krishna if you love him. Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible if you have love for Krishna. So if we increase our love for Krishna, we can purchase Krishna. So just like when he was driving Arjuna's chariot, Arjuna was ordering him. He was Krishna took the humble position of a driver. I was hearing a class recently, Bhagavatam class, and they were saying that the driver, the chariot driver, he had the feet of the king on his shoulders. And if he pressed the left foot, it means go left, and he pressed the right foot, it means go right. So how a humble position, Arjuna. I don't know if that's true, but it's an interesting idea. If Arjuna had his feet on Krishna's shoulders, because you can't hear in the battle, there's so much noise going on, and how is he going to tell the driver which way to go? And so that's an interesting idea. And that's why when Arjuna ordered Krishna to drive his chariot, he said, Achyuta, I know you're infallible. I know you're God. But Achyuta also means one who doesn't fall down or fail in his promise for his devotees. That's what Prabhupada says in the purport there. And Krishna's happy. Krishna's happy when you actually worship him and order him. He likes that. He likes that. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he's saying, everyone worships me, but I wish someone would also order me. So that's Yashoda, that's Yudhisthira, that's his devotees. And that's why it's better to be a devotee than to be an impersonalist. The impersonalist wants to become God, but instead of becoming God, it's better to control God, to order God. I mean, no, actually everybody's ordering God, but this is Arjuna ordered him in a different way. It is to fulfill Krishna's desire that he fight the battle. To fulfill Krishna's desire, he ordered Krishna to drive his chariot. So other people, they have the misconception, as Prabhupada was saying, they do things, even dharma, they do dharma for artha, for getting money. There's dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. There's 4 things. So they think the purpose of dharma, the purpose of religion, is to get money, artha. And the purpose of artha, the purpose of getting money, is kama. I should enjoy. And then if you get frustrated with dharma, artha, and kama, then you go for moksha. And so the devotee, he's beyond these 4 things, although he gets all of these things by the mercy of Krishna. Especially if you chant Hare Krishna offensively, you will get these things. So don't do that. Try to chant without offense, avoid the 10 offenses. And just by namabhas, just by the shadow of chanting the holy name, the shadow, you get moksha. And so the devotee, he's not even interested, nadaram, najanam, nasundarim, kaviram vajati shkamaye. Majamani jamani shre bhavata bhakti rohaitu kitvaye. Birth after birth, let me engage in your devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada he was able to control Krishna. If you study his prayers when he first came to America, even before after he said, I'll tell the prayer in a minute, but he was sitting on a park bench, and one man was talking to him, and Prabhupada was saying, you know, I have so many temples, but only time is separating. We have restaurants, we have farms, we have so many things, so many books, in so many languages. Only time is separating. So he had that vision that, you know, that just like Krishna in Bhagavad Gita told Arjuna, they're already killed by my direction. You just be the, you be the carrier. You work under my direction. You be the instrument. You be my instrument. So Prabhupada, he was seeing. He had that vision that everything is already done, and I just have to be the instrument in the fight. And that's what Prabhupada was saying in the purport, that the Pandavas were just the carriers. It's not like they were committing sin. Yes, here. No sin whatever touched the Pandavas, who were only the order carriers of the Lord. For others who declare war out of personal interest, the whole responsibility lies on them. And so the Pandavas were the instruments. And even though they were pure devotees, they had to suffer, because Krishna had to show how vice cannot overcome virtue. That will be in the next chapter, Bhishma's prayers. You'll hear more about that, how Bhishma was lamenting how so many bad things happened to such good people. Yudhisthira, the incarnation of religion, and Bhima, who was the most powerful, strongest man in the world. Arjuna was the best archer in the world. And on top of that, Krishna was their friend. And why they had to suffer so much? That's why Bhishma was crying. He was crying why the Pandavas had to suffer. What Prabhupada says in the purport, that the devotee, he has to show the world how to behave. So he has to be the example. So they were the example of how a devotee behaves in the world. So therefore, Prabhupada says that a devotee ungrudgingly accepts disturbances or problems as mercy of the Lord. Because it is the Lord's will. It is Krishna's will. So Prabhupada, when he first arrived in America, he said, all living entities have become under the control of illusory energy by your will. Therefore, if you like, by your will, they can be released from the clutches of illusion. So he said, okay, I see everybody is in Maya here, especially in the modes of ignorance and passion. Boston, what will Prabhupada see? So much passion and ignorance. But he said, Krishna, if you like, you can deliver them. And then, of course, that's we don't know if Krishna likes or doesn't like. He may or may not deliver. So then Prabhupada said something very strong here. I wish that you may deliver them. Now Krishna has to. The devotee has a desire, Krishna has to fulfill it. I wish. And that's why we're here today. Because Prabhupada wished that we be delivered. He had that desire that we be delivered. So therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, only then they will be able to understand your message. So he was praying for the people, for us, that we be delivered. And therefore, here we are. We never thought we would be wearing a sari and chanting Hare Krishna, and doing Harinam. It was not the least thing in our mind. But somehow Prabhupada captured us and delivered us. And here we are today, still chanting Hare Krishna and trying to be a devotee. It is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So just like the Christians are remembering Christ today, so we are remembering Srila Prabhupada. today and what he did for us. How he sacrificed his comfort living in Vrindavan and went to the West, where he was basically wandering the streets, counting every penny, and recording. His first classes were to the four walls. Nobody was there, but fortunately he recorded them. So even though the four walls were hearing then, now thousands are hearing his recordings. Introduction to Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada desired, let there be a temple. There is a purport, one of the last purports that Prabhupada wrote was, in Vrindavan there is a place where there was no temple, but a devotee desired, let there be a temple and seva, devotional service. Therefore, what was once an empty corner has now become a place of pilgrimage. Such are the desires of a devotee. So Prabhupada desired, he brought these deities to Sydney. I think they carried them on the airplane, right? Who was it? Madhavisa and Shuddhakirti or Bali Mardan and Bhagavan. Okay, they brought the deities. Right, so Prabhupada desired that Sydney have Radha Gopinath. And because of Prabhupada's desire, they have appeared. Param Brahma, and Shabda Brahma. We have Shabda Brahma also. Param Brahma, deities. And so, what was once an ordinary house became a temple. And the devotees, he left them in charge of the devotees and said, please, Krishna, help them take care of you. Please let them take care of you nicely. I'm leaving you in the hands of the mlechas. So Prabhupada had faith in us also. He had faith that we could do it. More faith in us than we had in ourselves. That he empowered us. I was 22 when I went to, 22 when I joined, 24 when I went to India. And I ended up being Pujari in Calcutta, of all places. And that was Prabhupada's mercy. That was Prabhupada's mercy. He had faith in us that, yeah, he wanted 50 devotees to come to India. And 25 came, and 5 stayed out of those 25. And then more were sent, because it was very difficult in those days. So we just have to keep trying to be alert, avoid the offenses, hear attentively, and do devotional service, and the day will come when we will be able to see Krishna in our heart and see Krishna as he is here in the temple also, and develop our love for him. So I will stop here if there's any questions or comments. You can. Yes? Question?
Just a couple of questions.
Okay, one at a time. Yeah, the pot, he didn't put it in on the table. He didn't put it in front of the deities. Do I think he has? Yeah, yeah, it's better than nothing, I have to say. I'm just saying, as born in a devotee family, it would be nice to be more personal. But yeah, it's good that you offer your food in any way you can. Good to offer your food. So in that sense, it was nice. I should not criticize, but there's always room for improvement. Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, only one. Yeah. Yeah, now someone said, I heard the reason why he stopped for Yudhisthira. Well, because Yudhishthira was more specific. He was saying for a few days, and Kunti wasn't specific. So a few days, okay, you know. So yeah, he said, oh, a few days. Oh, that's not so bad. Yeah, I can manage that. Of course, he stayed for some more time. He stayed for, I think, a few months, but yeah, that's the answer I heard in one class. That, yeah, Kunti, she tried her best, and I'm sure it was also a combination of the two. It wasn't, you know, it was Kunti, first she tried, and then Yudhishthira together, the two of them, okay, all right, I stay. And he did, after Kunti offered her prayers, I believe he did smile at her. So it's not like he mildly smiled. And that smile was as enchanting as his mystic power. Right. Mm-hmm. Mercy. So his Prabhupada said this smiling was mercy on Kunti. This was his mercy. So he was showing his mercy, and he did finally accept her prayers and stay. He did finally. So who knows why he was smiling? Maybe he was smiling because he was going to stay. He knew. Who knows? I don't want to speculate. But he was smiling. Smiling means also he accepted the prayers of Kunti. Any other question? Yes? Krishna. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yes. Let's see. Let me read more. I think there is something here which I skipped. Thank you for bringing that up. It's the purport, actually, from 1st Canto, 8th chapter. Okay. I think there is more to it there. Yeah. This, okay. Cares to keep connection. Oh, yeah. So Prabhupada says that the mercy of the Lord is open for him, but he is reluctant to receive it. So we have to be open for the mercy, to receive it. We have to be open. And that purport is here, actually. I can look it up. It's just a recent purport. Because I think Prabhupada does go into more detail there about what is the qualification for mercy. 29. This is 1.8.29. The pure devotees who are engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord are not a mercantile community. A pure devotee does not render service to the Lord for exchange. Therefore, the full mercy of the Lord is open for him. So, if you're serving the Lord to fulfill some material desire, then you won't get so much mercy. But if you're doing it unconditionally as pure devotional service, then you will get the full mercy. Yeah, that's explained here. And this is 1.8.29. That where it says people only imagine that you are partial. It looks like you're partial, but he's not partial. If you're open to receiving the mercy, Prabhupada did say that to Vishnu Jan, that you are open, so you are getting more mercy. He was doing Harinam 12 hours a day, leading Harinam, and playing Mridanga 12 hours a day. And he had his hands taped up, because otherwise they would be bleeding. He had tape over all his fingers so that he could play the whole day, 12 hours a day. Yeah, good question. What determines how much mercy we get? And that is how much open we are to receive the mercy. And open means that we depend on Krishna fully for protection, for maintenance, for everything, for love. Any other questions? Jai, all glories to Shri Prabhupada.